This is a month to get grounded, to get practical, and to finally be able to start moving forward step by step. It is a time to be aligned and committed. We have a lot of energy moving through Capricorn, and we have Venus that's turned direct, so our relational energy and our connector is going to start moving forward. Mercury is about to turn direct, so we can finally make some of those decisions for ourselves personally, financially, and business-wise as well, and commit to that new path that this year has promised. Hi, I'm Prema Gurreri, Vedic astrologer and business oracle, and welcome to Chart Your Path. I am so glad you're here. If this is resonating for you, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate that. It helps get the word out. And if you're wondering how to work with me, how to get a reading, just hang till the end and I will share all that information with you then. So this is a month, the theme is alignment and commitment. And with all this energy starting to move forward, again, you're going to be able to make these decisions. There is so much happening in Capricorn this month, and this is Vedic astrology, the sidereal zodiac, the true placement of the planets. And you're going to be able to make this forward progression of things. Now, Saturn is our planet of truth or consequences. It's the great organizer, the great administrator. I've got the administrator up here, the archetype behind me, and the advocate in the Sacred Wealth Code archetype system. Saturn is a strong planet. It's a committed planet. It is the great administrator, as I have up here behind me, and the organizer in the Sacred Wealth Code archetype system, and is always checking us on, are we really being truthful and are we committed? And the more we are committed and we're aligned with truth, the less problems Saturn is going to create for us, and it creates problems with fear and with delaying things. So with this alignment, with this energy, alignment and commitment is going to save you time and energy and allow you to really move forward in a way that you can move with the energy instead of against it. Now we've started this month, really the last day of the month. So the 31st, the first is the new moon, depending on where you are, and this new moon energy. And so this is happening in the nakshatra of Shravana. And Shravana is represented by the ear, and it's deep listening, it's intuition, and it's that which is heard. So the new moon is always a reset for the next 30-day cycle, and it's where we plant the seed. It's where we tune in and we find out, okay, what is it that we are growing over the next 30-day cycle? And this is a really important thing. And also remember, with even why I bring you these updates and I work with my clients and my programs and helping you understand the energy, is because when you get conscious and you're aware of what the energy is and how it interacts with your soul blueprint, your chart, your soul blueprint, then you can move with it and you can make conscious decisions and not just feel like things are happening to you in your life and in your business. This new moon is really calling us to be grounded and practical and sometimes control and structure. That's all Saturn energy, and that's all Capricorn energy in particular, which is a big theme throughout the whole month. And it can bring a sense of seriousness, so you're going to want to make sure throughout this month that you do bring some levity, you bring some lightness, you bring some play into things. This is the star of learning where Shravana is. So you want to spend time really deeply listening in, hearing your intuition, hearing they say that within this nakshatra, this lunar mansion, you can hear the celestial Om within the universe. If you're quiet enough, you can turn within and pull away from distractions and technology. You're going to have insights drop in for you, and also the listening to others. Sometimes we're spending so much time thinking about what we're going to say, we don't actually hear. Hearing and listening are two different things. We can hear something, but are we listening to it? Listening is a verb. Listen is a verb. It's an activity. Practice your listening, and then if there's something that's calling your attention, especially from the spiritual realm, to dive in and to learn, it's a great time to start learning something new this month. So get quiet, tune in to what I call your new moon soul directives, and tune into what your heart is really calling you to plant the seeds of and grow over this next 30-day cycle and commit to. That's kind of the clarifying question. Venus is just gone direct on the 29th of January. and it's just become a morning star as opposed to an evening star. I mean, it's retrograde and it's transition with the sun, and it's coming out very strong. This is the great connector. I've got the connector behind me on the Sacred Wealth Code Archetype system, and the artist, and also the muse. We have been reevaluating our relationships. Relationships have felt a little off, or a lot off, and wondering, like, wow, why was I choosing that before? And where am I compromising in relationships? I talked about this a lot in January, and you can refer back to the January update if you want to understand that a little bit more. Now that it's going forward, we're going to be able to take those insights and those ahas and those, I need to do it differently, and actually implement that. That's in your personal life, that's in your business relationships. Remember, connection is currency. This is how we, this is how we enjoy life. This is how we lead. This is how we move things forward. But Venus really wants us to be happy and have to have pleasure and to have connection. And especially for the feminine, we will sacrifice sometimes what it is, the work we need to do, or what's really true for us in order to maintain a relationship. And you've been reevaluating that, and I really would love to hear in the comments what has been coming up for you around relationships, that it's time for you to do things differently. Your ideals, your disappointments, and on the shadow side of the connector is the people pleaser. And that is where, and also the martyr, and that's where we fall into, just pleasing. And this happens from very young. We get trained this way in order to get the love, the connection that we want. And that's no longer going to fly for you in some way. Things will be much clearer for you now. You'll be able to start to move forward and move forward with the changes in relationships that you're ready to have. That might be some falling away, that might be deepening some, that might be starting some new. Just be very clear and honest with yourself. And this is going to hit, like I said, going to hit you personally, in your career, in your business as well. Now, while this is going on, we've got Mars and Venus are going to travel very close together for actually 2 months. This does not happen very often. This is a very rare transit. And when I say close together, like within a degree of each other, they're literally going to walk together. These two planets and these archetypes are very different from one another. We have Venus, as I just talked about, right? Our connection, our relationships, it's more feminine and wants to be happy. And then Mars is very disciplined, very direct, wants to be productive, can be very passionate as well. This combination can bring a lot of passion in, especially where it's hitting you in your soul blueprint, in your Vedic astrology chart. This also can bring up a bit of contention too. So let me just flesh this out for you so you understand. Venus is going, and Mars can work together in this conjunction here, but they are polar opposites. So you're going to want to be diplomatic in your communications around relationship to serve the Mars, the honorable warrior, the strategist, the engineer energy. You're going to want to be disciplined and committed, and disciplined and be moving productively, moving things forward, and really keep your passion up about your work in the world. Keep your passion up about what you're dedicating your time and your energy to. Don't squander your energy on getting hooked into things that you can push against. That's not a good use of your energy, and it'll create friction in your relationships. And with Venus, you want to stay very true to the things I just talked about, and that you are really attending to, your connection first. So the way the connection really works in an alignment way is connection with yourself, and then with the source of your being, whatever your word is for that, the divine, God, whatever that is. And then we connect with others so that you don't lose yourself. The thing you're going to want, that you'll maybe working out with people, is more on a philosophy level, like around ideas and ideals and things. And so, you'll be talking about those things. But as we move into the end of the month, on the 27th, we're going to have all the planets line up in Capricorn. It's a very, again, like a rare transit, but it actually happened last year as well. So it's pretty interesting. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. But when Venus moves into Capricorn, and then Mars will follow it. When these two planets together move into Capricorn, what is going to happen is you're going to then be able to actually commit to the path moving forward around relationship, and to really be, again, some things might fall away, that's okay, into a new direction around relationship and create the boundaries and the commitments to make that happen. That's what happens in Capricorn. It's very much around our boundaries and our commitments. Boundaries are not walls that we use to hold other people out. It's our rule set for ourselves. So it'll be boundaries around relationship, which allows you actually to be more of you. I teach a whole module on this in the Solutionary Blueprint program. The link to that is down below if you're interested in the full body of work of really stepping in and coming in and working in alignment and moving your work out into the world and having support in doing that. Mercury is going to go direct on February 3rd, 4th, depending on where you are, again, in Capricorn. And you want to know whenever Mercury goes direct, that you want to be aware of the day before, the day of, and the day after. So I'm going to say the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. Those days, don't make any big decisions. To stay in alignment, and that's what you want to do, is stay in alignment, and especially as I guide my entrepreneurs to, again, not all time is created equal. So do not make important decisions during that time, February 3rd, 4th, 5th. But after that, you're going to be able to move forward with your decisions in a big way. This is the communicator. This is the merchant, also in the Sacred Wealth Code Archetype system, and the messenger, those ideas, those messages that we get from beyond. All these things have been sifting and sorting around Mercury retrograde, and now you'll be able to take the grounded, practical Capricorn type energy. You'll be able to move things forward in a very grounded, practical way, and be able to, there's been a lot of overwhelm and distraction. I know I've dealt with it as well, and I had to really take a step back and move some things off into February that I really wanted to have happen in January, but I was overthinking them. And during the retrograde, I realized, oh yes, it won't be overthinking if you're letting things sift and sort and contemplating things. If you're trying to do something with energy that you don't have clarity about, that's when you get into overthinking things. And that wastes you a lot of time, and it feels very, very frustrating. And then it turns into overwhelm. So you're going to be able to let go of that confused and overwhelmed type energy. And instead of feeling delayed, you'll be able to start to move forward practically. One step at a time, attend to the details, move the project forward, move the next thing forward that you are working on, that you're bringing in. Maybe you've already done your vision and the thing that you're bringing in, the new thing, product or service you're bringing in your business, or that just the next structure and decisions you need to make financially for yourself. You'll be able to make those as well. Anything you've been holding off around decisions, it's going to get clear, and you'll be able to make that in a very practical, grounded way. You have to attend to your groundedness. You have to attend to you being, remember, aligned and committed. What are you committed to? And what are you doing to be centered and to be grounded? And Saturn's going to really invite you to do that. And if you have your feet on the ground lightly in this world, and remember that you are a spiritual being, but you're going to walk lightly here and stay connected in, so you're not like a balloon off over here somewhere, then you'll be able to start to bring things together and make those connections to make it happen. February 4th, Saturn and the Sun are combust, and this is only for a short time. But what happens during this time is usually the Sun, the leader, overpowers things and overpowers the other planets, but not Saturn. Saturn is very strong, and especially strong in Capricorn, where it's its own house. That's, again, the great organizer and then the great leader. So it'll be conjunct at 22 degrees of combust at 22 degrees of Capricorn. It will not stay there for very long, but I want you to notice on the 4th, the 3rd, 4th, 5th. And again, remember, this is the same timing I'm talking about for Mercury retrograde and a couple of our other transits for you to watch out for. So it's great. It's just this one block of time. Then just watch out for conflicts in leadership. We'll probably see that reflected globally, politically, and and if you don't feel confident in your leadership in some way, it's a blip in time. Remember what you're committed to leading. What is your vision? I'd love to hear. Put it in the comments. What are you leading? What are you leading? And you've been working on the structure around that, and it's been supporting you in doing that. This energy has. The sun is going to enter Aquarius. Again, that's that great leader I was talking about, on February 14th on Valentine's Day. It's going to join up with Jupiter. Jupiter's been there for the last few months. This is Aquarius, the sign. Yes, this is Vedic astrology, the sign of power to the people. This is where we're in our higher ideals, our greater vision, and teaching for humanity. And yes, this hits you in a personal way, but we're all going through this at some level, and there's an expansion, and we're being called on a deep level with Jupiter on coming together through this very polarized period of time we've been through with the pandemic and with the big paradigm shift that we are in, and being able to find those in those communities or create your own where you are aligned, you do see eye to eye, or you are honoring everyone bringing in their vision together. It's important to move forward, and Aquarius is helping us to do that. The sun will be here, and so our leadership is going to be more power to the people. And this is, again, humanitarian issues. All of this will be in the forefront. And how can you bring in what's best for us collectively, globally, on a humanitarian level and socially into your leadership in the world? What are you leading? And whether you're in business for yourself, or whether you work for a company, or whether you are whatever, whether you're a parent, whether you're a mother, you are leading in some way. You are leading in some way. And so I'd love to hear from you, what is the social causes that you want to step in for leadership for? You're very much supported in February, mid-February to mid-March in that. Now, on the 23rd to the 27th of February, Jupiter is going to combust the sun. Whenever a planet comes with the sun is stronger, except for what I talked about with Saturn. And what this will mean is that during that time, just those few days, that it might be a little bit frustrating for you. You might not feel that vision so clearly, but Jupiter will come out of the other side of this after the 27th. This is our great teacher, our great visionary, and it will it'll be even stronger for vision, even stronger as the teacher that Jupiter is. So what I want to invite you to do is really tune in and ask yourself, what is the vision that you are holding for humanity? What are you here to lead? Love to hear you answer those, and let the answers to those questions really guide you through that period of time. Remember, what you're conscious of and you stay aligned with, then you can work with the cosmos, with the energy at hand. The full moon will happen on the 16th of February, and I will bring you an update. And in fact, I am going to be teaching an activation this month near the full moon. It's aligned, power from the inside out. So stay tuned for that. That'll be a special class, a special activation that I'll be bringing to you. So I'll be doing an update near the full moon. I'll be bringing something to you about aligned very soon, so that you can register for that. And this is a turning point as far as leadership goes. Mars and Venus are going to be conjunct at this time. I'm not going to go all into the full moon energy because I'll be bringing it to you later in the month. But this is very much of a power and clarity in our leadership. Leadership is one of our themes this month. As we get to the end of the month, there is a stellium in Capricorn. It starts on the 27th, and it goes through the 6th of February, and that goes through the 6th of March. Now, this is Saturn, Mercury, Venus, the moon, Mars, and the moon. The moon will be there for a shorter period of time, are going to be all in Capricorn. I've already told you about Capricorn. This happens very rarely. This happened last year at the end of January, beginning of February, right around February 9th. It actually came to its full stellium. That means four or more planets all in one place. And this is a really rare occurrence. But again, it's happening again this year. So reflect back to what was going on for you end of January, beginning of February 2021. There's a similar theme going on during this time as well. When you have this many planets in one place, it brings a lot of parts of our lives all together. And the theme again is commitment and groundedness and practical action and restructuring. Things have been torn down, and what is the structure that will support moving forward? So think back to what was going on. I'm curious to hear what that is for you. And you'll be facing truths about that and restructuring these different areas of life. Many of them we've talked about already, of the planets that are going to be in Capricorn. And it may feel like you have some delays. And again, that's just that Saturn energy wanting you to be true to every step along the way. So don't get frustrated. If you feel like you have to go back and redo something, it's just to make sure you're in full alignment. What you need to do is attend to your alignment and what you're committed to by being centered, by being grounded, by being present. And it's a great month to implement what you've been evaluating and re-evaluating. If this is resonating for you, I really encourage you to subscribe if you're new to the channel, to leave me a comment to some of the questions I've asked. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the activation class that I'll be bringing you. That is Power Alignment from the Inside Out. That'll come around the full moon of this month. And if you're wanting to know how to work with me, I really encourage you to come in and get a reading with me. All the links are down below in the description. And I've got several different readings. And if you are wanting to know what your soul blueprint is, where are all these transits this year and the important transits for the year happening for you, you want to know what your purpose is, soul blueprint reading, link is down below. Let me help dig that in with you, and let me help you to really understand yourself in depth and what you're up to and how you can bring that out in the world and how you can move past your shadow and move past your blocks. If you are wanting to know what your gifts are, a Sacred Wealth Code reading, and that includes getting past your shadow. That's part of the Sacred Wealth Code as well, but really understanding what your gifts are and how you're wired up for wealth. Super important. Along with the Sacred Wealth Code, there's also the book and the oracle cards. The links are all down below if you want to, dive into that work. And if you are an entrepreneur, and if you are someone who is wanting to move your work out into the world, recalibrate your business, and you're really ready to navigate your business to success with energetics and with astrology, Vedic astrology and intuition, I invite you to come in and get the Aligned Entrepreneur Deep. This is a deep dive 90-minute session with me where we're going to map out for you your products, your services, your launch dates, whether you're bringing something new, whether you're wanting to know what the launch season is going to be for you, and understand what your personal transits are and how that's going to affect your business, so that you really move with the wind at your back when it's time to run forward, and you know how to lean back when the energy is going to be challenging, so that you don't wear yourself out, and that you can leap forward when the energy comes to support you in doing that. It's one of my greatest joys, is to help you to get your work out into the world in a big way. All right, all the links are down below, and also the Solutionary Blueprint, which is my full body of work. Includes your soul blueprint, your Sacred Wealth Code archetypes, and working on your business and really bringing your work out into the world, recalibrating it to the next level, finding out what your work is. It's really an intuitive way to work with astrology, energetics, your intuition, and some real practical on-the-ground strategy to bring your work, your beautiful work, to the world. And the link is down below. And we usually have a conversation about that to see if it's a good fit for you. All right. I love you being here. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate you greatly. So much love to you.